through the MAC as they will host Canisius on Sunday. We've waited a long time for this one, but the 2023 season is underway, and it'll be Binghamton to get us underway as the ball knocked here to the near side for Hannah Knitsch, who scored 3 goals last season. Talking with head coach Neil Bhattacharjee before this game, he did say that it was a really nice thing for him to have just so many veteran players returning from one season ago. In fact, he could have basically named an entire starting lineup that was involved with the returners, one of those being Grace Vittoria, who missed all of last season due to an injury. So, yeah, they didn't really need to do a whole lot of teaching in preseason, more about just fine-tuning the little things and getting themselves going. For Fairfield, as you see the men's team over on the far side of the field, right by the Stags bench. Same thing, there are a few more changes. One of those, Maddie Mills, graduating after her 1 season as a grad transfer from Dartmouth. She was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year and first team, though did chip in with 6 goals and 8 assists. But when you do have a fairly experienced front line, also with Elle Scott alongside of Maddie Theriault, could be one of those things where goals can be coming quick and fast. As an interception on the far side of the field, looking for Theriault now, who tries to turn but is hustled and hurried by Brooke Herber, and she will go back to one of the captains, that's Caroline Kelly. Megan Carragher dropping in a little bit deeper today as the center back. She played more in the hole last season, sometimes in a double pivot, sometimes just your traditional central defensive midfielder, but today operating alongside Caroline Kelly. As the first touch for Olivia McKnight will go back with Herber, the sophomore is Herber from St. James, New York. The mark of the Fairfield attacking unit last season, they love to press. They love to just absolutely hurry their opposition defensive line and often pick the pocket and led to a number of transitional looks. As Katie Wright, the sophomore goalie out of Sutton, Massachusetts, will collect. Wright last season played nearly the entire campaign outside of the first 44 minutes of the season due to then the number 1, Jenna Pike, who started but ended up suffering a season-ending injury. Then Wright took over in a really solid freshman campaign as Scott has been unlocked down this near channel. She's got a couple to aim for, but will be out for the first corner of this match. Elle Scott, lightning pace about her, the senior from Ashby, Massachusetts. Enters this season with career 14 goals and 12 assists. She had 19 points last campaign. Someone actually suffered a little bit of a lower body injury at the back end of last season, still came back to register a goal in the semifinal matchup against Niagara. Fairfield will load the box. Ball hit to the back post and really deep. That knocked down by Carragher. Shot got blocked by Reagan Klarman. It'll be reset to Panasek, and her effort gets blocked down, which will force Sammy Erickson, who returns back to the starting lineup, has been on and off injured throughout her Fairfield career, but she finds Scott to the near side, but good tracking back, sees it out for a throw. Hannah Knitsch gets tackled off the ball there by that's Erickson. Erickson, the junior from New Jersey, just played 6 games last year, did have a couple of starts. As Panasek looking for an overlapping run on the far side of the field that was intended for Cook, intercepted, but Carragher will stop any further progress, out for another Binghamton throw. Grace Vittoria, mentioned her at the top of the show. Grad student from South Salem, New York, who came into last season. Vittoria, who played 18 games in the fall 21 season, helped the program to 7 clean sheets. Nice little return, almost kind of like another signing on its own as a long-range effort held. That was Allison Falvo letting that one fly, but right at Katie Wright. We have Vittoria in talking with Coach Bhattacharjee, saying that, yeah, just really good to have her back within this lineup. Someone that was a definite miss, obviously one that could be filled a little bit with that Binghamton team holding their opponents to just a little over a goal per contest. But you do almost have that feeling, it's not so much a new transfer in, but it feels like almost a new player. And for Victoria, who missed out on last season's campaign, getting to the conference championship, she'll want to really hit the ground running this season. Kinich, a junior out of Manlius, New York, will go back. Olivia McKnight, that's a good ball out wide to her twin sister, Victoria McKnight. Victoria, with 5 goals, 4 assists last season, clipped that over the top, but a bit too much there for Paige Luke, and out for a goal kick. Towards Katie Wright, who's been tested a couple of times here early on. Wright, 4 solo clean sheets a season ago, and a save percentage at 77%. Named to the conference 3rd team last year, one of 8 Fairfield players who were garnered all conference selections. Registered as many as 9 saves in a victory at Holy Cross last season. Scott getting upended there by Kinich, who finished off last season on a flourish, did Kinich, with a goal and an assist against University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and had a goal as well against Bryant in league play. And Kinich, along with Paige Luke up top. Luke expected to take over the role for Maya Anand, with the 12 goals she had last year, actually playing now at Louisville. She was a grad transfer there in the offseason. But Luke, someone that comes in with a bit of pedigree, scored 33 career goals in her high school days. Section 3 All-Star at Clinton High School. But you never know how players are going to transition over into the college game. Might take them a couple of games to get going, especially also the natural surface in this game particular, because Bryant do play on the turf surface in their home in Vestal, New York. As McKnight will hold up play. That's Olivia McKnight. Bit of a dangerous back pass there as Sophia Garofalo had a readjust. And she goes back with Caitlin Williams, someone that we haven't talked about yet. The goalkeeper for Binghamton and Williams. Regular for the Bearcats. Fairfield now driving, trying to tee it up onto the right foot, and she scores! Well, that's how you pick up from a season ago. Maddie Fairfield recovering the ball in a good area and slotting one just past the keeper. It's Fairfield 1, Binghamton 0. Yeah, able to just glide past the defender there and slotted that one into the far corner. There's not too many goalies anywhere that's going to be picking that one out. Maddie Fairfield. Sometimes the hype is real, and for Fairfield, it is all too real. I mean, she even hit us with the little step over. That's something that she loves to do, just creating enough separation with her defender. Boy, that's a nifty finish there, and she had a lot of work to do, you know, still taking one from better 25, 30 yards away from goal. Hey, she certainly watched Sam Kerr in that semifinal, the Women's World Cup, just a couple of days ago, where the Australian striker hit one from just about the same area, had a bit of work to do. Put that past Mary Earps. Well, this time Maddie Fairfield going right past Caitlin Williams. And for Williams, someone that only allowed on average a goal and a half per game, her first action this season, picking the ball out of her net. That's good refereeing there from Daniel Alloy, our center official today. Wanted to see if there was an advantage, but a foul was called. On opening day, you want the big players to make a statement. This is the second MAC women's soccer game on the docket today, and well, already seeing her name shoot right up to the top of the leaderboards as Theriault now trying to recover. Good sliding challenge. She'll be out for a Fairfield throw. There's Vittoria knocking that one out of play. Aubrey Silverman taking the throw. It's intercepted though, and Olivia McKnight will go back to her back line. Good tackle from Carragher, getting stuck in there and finds Theriault, but she gets dispossessed, and now Binghamton can break with Paige Luke. Oh, the ball was on, you know. Hannah Kinich was driving down this near channel, but the ball never found her. It's a loose touch, though, from Panasek. And Erickson able to recover. Looking for a channel and finds L. Scott. Scott, who's gotten in behind here, just has 2 in the area right now. Lovely little cut back, but the effort goes wide. But that's the danger that Scott can provide any team. She loves to switch flanks. Will sometimes start games on the left, move to the right. Today she starts on the right and has already carved a path down that near channel. Brooke Herber out of the back, the sophomore who was part of the America East All Rookie team last season. Not enough hit on that pass. Silverman intercepts. Cook tried to lay that off, but Scott not on the same wavelength. Now, Emily Cook, a player that has collegiate experience in terms of starting out her career. This is her first season with Fairfield. On the roster at Georgia last campaign, but didn't see the field for the Bulldogs. However, in talking with Dave Barrett, that was a mid-year transfer last year. So Cook did get games in the spring. Someone that has really fit in nicely, especially because of her pedigree with Emily Cook playing with the North Carolina Courage ECNL Academy team. The Courage, of course, part of the NWSL and has a really good academy system. And Cook could be one of those players that can really make something happen as we go through the course of this season. This ball ladled towards Cook. It's a bit of a heavy touch and just swung and missed. As a shot of a handball, though. The referee lets that one go. Ferriald again to her right, but right at the goalie. Well, that will be interesting to see back on replay. That's one of those interesting ones. The ball definitely hit the arm of the sliding defender, but the official may be thinking that because of the fact that the defender was just trying to stop and balance herself. As you take a look at it here, it's a heavy touch from Cook. Garofalo, yeah, that's going to be harsh to call that. Unfortunately, it's again one of those where what can the defender do in that situation? Again, Fairfield giving Cook a bit of service here as now Binghamton will try and utilize that right wing as Luke looking for options in the area. That ball deflected out. It'll be Binghamton's first corner of the afternoon. Fairfield already with one set piece. Didn't come to much for those just tuning in. A goal from Maddie Theriault for Fairfield coming in the 8th minute. Victoria McKnight, 45 games played coming into the season for Binghamton with 9 career assists. Pings this one to the back post, a bit over Luke. It's knocked down by Vittoria, and it's cleared away. Paige Luke, the number 29 in green and black, stands in at 5'9", and yeah, someone that you could serve up to in the area, especially at that back post. It'll be out for a throw. That ball over the top, right back and gobbled up by Katie Wright. You can see with Binghamton, though, perhaps an early look on what they're going to try to do for set pieces. Just serve it up for Luke and see if she can get her head onto it. Meanwhile, Fairfield going direct here, looking for Scott. It's cut away at the last moment by Allison Falvo, her numerical counterpart. So this will go back to Caitlin Williams. Not the most confident of clearances, however. Erickson does overrun it, does allow Knitsch to drive, but Erickson doing really well to recover. Does nicely to create a bit of separation. That's not a bad area, actually, for Cook. The ball just held up a bit. Should have said as well, it is extremely windy here at Lessing Field. Anything that gets hung up in the air for a little bit of time is just going to die right on its place. Actually driving right here into the press box, so if anything, going from the far side of the field to near. As Klarman will hold it up for Hanasek. Kaylin out of American in the Patriot League. 13 starts last season, did score her first career goal against Old Dominion. Someone that's going to do a lot of work in the middle of the field. One of those glue pieces that Dave Barrett was looking for in the offseason as a grad transfer, and Scott will earn her team another set piece. Another experienced player, and Allie Kirby will trot over to take this one. Kirby now 40 games played with Fairfield. senior out of Illinois. Did have a goal last season against Sacred Heart right before the end of non-conference plays. This one hit towards the penalty spot. A really good leap from Erickson, just not able to get on the end of it. It'll be reloaded, though, to Kirby. Does have options in the area. Swung in towards Theriault. Goes towards Caroline Kelly. It's a good grab by the keeper, but a foul against Fairfield for a push in the back. Take a look back at this one here. And yeah, not a bad reload actually from Kirby going to the back post, but you'll see the push in the back coming from Caroline Kelly just off your picture now. Yeah, just using the lift off Garofalo. As immediately on the other end, a chance going wide from Victoria McKnight. Just couldn't get her feet settled there, did McKnight. Ball worked to this near side, chopped back across, and the senior just not able to keep it on target. That's really the first chance for Binghamton in this match. And coming off of what was a close opportunity for Fairfield. Kirby doing really well to recover. A little 1-2 with Silverman. This one does go out. It will be a Binghamton throw. Gonna take a look at that last chance now. We'll have it for you in a moment. This ball hoofed towards Cook, but not able to take it down. Valvo. Good step once again by Erickson. She's done that a few times today, Sammy Erickson. Reading passes, and I mentioned this briefly where Binghamton not accustomed to playing on a grass surface, having the turf back up on their campus. A few times balls have been under hit, and Fairfield doing a really nice job at anticipating those passes and been intercepting a fair few in the middle of the park. That, meanwhile, is a great distribution on the far side of the field. Olivia McKnight over the top, intercepted well by Kelly. And now Kirby over the top looking for Scott. The flag stayed down, but it was a bit too far for Caitlin Williams. Theriault pressuring the goalie, but how about that composure from Caitlin Williams? Seeing Theriault coming in and just dinking it right over the top. Chance now for Binghamton to build out of the back. But again, there's Erickson. Just doing enough that time to intercept. That ball intended for Victoria McKnight. And this will go out for a Fairfield throw. '18th minute. Fairfield leading with an 8th minute goal from Maddie Theriault. A shot that snuck inside the far post from about 25 yards away. Here is Theriault, able to turn on a dime and trying to drive past Victoria. She does so as well. And the lovely cutback. Theriault looking for a second. She still goes on. It's over the bar. There was a deflection, though, so this will be another Fairfield corner. But once again, Maddie Theriault putting on the moves and nearly doubling her account for the season. And it wasn't actually a bad recovery from Grace Victoria, number 13. She did enough to square herself back up, and Theriault just using that great strength, able to create more space for herself to put that one towards goal. Off the ensuing corner to the back post, it deflects off Carragher out behind for a goal kick. I don't think Carragher saw that one until it dropped to her with players in front. But boy, Maddie Theriault is having an afternoon thus far. I talked with Theriault before the season, asked her if she had any player that she looked up to and someone that she could compare her game to, because that's a push from behind, but that's a really good advantage from the official there. Theriault driving that cross in, and it's cleared away. And Theriault said that, yeah, it's not position like for like, but did see a lot of the attributes of former U.S. women's national team player Carly Lloyd, and just the fact of the strength and speed. And then you add a little bit of flair with Theriault, who certainly loves a step over. And it's not something that you see all the time with a target forward or a winger that has strength, speed, and then the skill to match. If you get 2 out of 3, you're doing pretty well. As that'll be a free kick as Fairfield gets called for something in the box. And Fairfield, as Binghamton are quickly realizing a real handful to deal with. Both teams have a sub starting to get loose over on the far side of the field. And that's the thing with these early non-conference matches. Curious to see how much both head coaches are going to allow. You don't often have many players going beyond 75 minutes or so. For those that are unfamiliar with college soccer substitution rules, it's unlimited subs. If you do come out in the first half, you stay out for the rest of the half. And then in the second half, you're allowed 1 re-entry. Both coaches very happy to go into their bench, especially on the Binghamton side, where they have upwards of 23 players returning from 1 season ago. Again, with the only player that departed of any real note being Anand with her 12 goals. A handful of young players coming through. With Fairfield, Dave Barrett did say that it might take a little time for some of the younger players to come through to get used to playing the college game with the speed and the strength that comes with it. But also, he made sure to mention the fact that this isn't a Fairfield team from a couple of seasons ago that had to rely on young players. Now it's a chance to develop those players. Good closing down by Reagan Klarman. She's in on goal. Klarman, a good strong hand from Williams just to slow her up for a moment. Fairfield's asking for it in the top of the box. It's knocked out and it's poked away. That's really good goalkeeping there from Caitlin Williams. As Klarman does everything right, tries to round the goalie, but the keeper comes up with a needed touch. Scott now. Her cross is blocked down and helped on forward by the Binghamton back line. Another good tackle from Erickson. Boy, she's been everywhere in this first half for Fairfield. And now Paige Luke, who's had to come pretty deep in her own area just to get a touch of the ball. Binghamton not too many ways out at the moment. Carragher will reset to Caroline Kelly. A tandem that we saw a little bit in the past last season, but not all that much. But perhaps early signs here that that might be the center back duo for this season, with Olivia Holman, who garnered all MAC accolades a season ago, graduating. Carragher, again, looking for that ball over the top to Scott, who was able to beat 2 defenders to get into a little bit of space. Looking for an overlapping run. She gets it with Cook. Cook, lovely cutback. Drops it on to Klarman, but just couldn't get the right power behind it. Fairfield, though, their 8th shot already of this first half, and we've just reached the halfway point. Fairfield team last season that averaged close to 17 shots. That's total shots per game, 7 of which on average on goal. That doesn't always take into account blocked shots as well, but Fairfield, a team over the last couple of years, have been very attack-minded. That time, the ball over top too far for the goal scorer, Maddie Theriot. But this will just go out by the corner flag. Be an out for a throw. Fairfield do have 1 sub getting ready over the far sideline. Hearing Donna Nada will be the player that comes in for Fairfield. Scott doing really well to recover that and stretches to find Panasek, who keeps it on the floor. Gets a return from Cook. She's got an option out wide in Kirby and goes that way. Better recovery, though, from Hannah Mimas. Just holds Fairfield up for a moment. No official possession statistics, but you'd have to figure the Stags are closing in around 65% of the possession. Binghamton do have 2 shots, but most of those, or both of those, really came in the first couple of minutes of this game. As a low cross finds Theriot just But Caitlin Williams able to secure that one. She's had a lot to do here in this first half. Caitlin Williams, 83 saves a season ago for a percentage of 78. Had as many as 9 against Binghamton as Theriault recovered that ball, has gone in line. Theriault again. Sometimes 1 and 2 defenders on her, loses her balance though. Still fighting for it. It's finally cleared away. Mimas looking for an option, and again, having to do a lot of work off the ball defending as Binghamton. They lose out, but that pass too far in front of Cook. Probably would have been an offside flag anyways against the Stags. But there's just no outlet right now for the visitors. A good distribution, though, by Williams, able to find an option on that far sideline. Lovely switch. Victoria McKnight now in a bit of space. She's got Knitsch off to her left, goes on her own, but that's comfortable for Wright. We'll be very happy to take shots from that sort of distance. But even then, it just gives Binghamton a 30, 45-second spell where their defenders can get a little bit of a respite. They've been having to do a lot of work, though. Neil Bhattacharjee will probably say at the same time that his team has been a bit sloppy in possession. As Cook gets knocked over, it will be a foul and a free kick for Fairfield. And you have to credit Fairfield's press as well. They've been winning back the ball in a number of good places and utilizing that to be transition opportunities. That's a wayward ball, and we will have changes now coming for both sides. And that's usually what we expected about this time of games in early non-conference action. Changes coming 25, 26 minutes in. Davia Rossi for Binghamton on, and you see for Fairfield, Donna Nada, the freshman from Cairo, Egypt, who's been capped 14 times for her national team, as well as played as under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers and African Cup of Nations qualifiers for the senior national team. Product out of the IMG Academy in Florida. Now, speaking to earlier how Fairfield, they might not see as many young players at being freshmen coming in, despite the fact that Fairfield have 9 freshmen on the roster, but a chance for a lot of those players to really develop this season, get some spot moments, but Nada probably the player that would contribute during the course of the early season. Lovely 1-2 there between Scott and Cook. That comes off. Scott dispossessed, track back there. Hannah Knitsch to win it off of her. Now Olivia McKnight.
The good thing is Tom knows that we have all these obstructions and stuff. Which is good.
It's a heavy touch, but Alex Marsteller comes away with it. Marsteller, the junior from Pennsylvania, started every game a season ago. Now a chance for Mimas to pick out a cross. That one hit a bit too hard. No one making that back post run. And that's where, again, the tired legs here in this first half, where Binghamton have had to do a lot of defensive work. You'd expect someone to be making that run, but needed that to be weighted about 2 or 3 seconds more before hitting that ball to the back post. Now, Binghamton at the same time last season did face a rather challenging non-conference schedule. Started 1-4 in those matches and got outscored 11-5 in those games. This is a bit by design here by Coach Bhattacharjee. Is he really does feel that he told his team, listen, we're going to go through these games where the standards of our opponents are going to be at a pace that's much higher than we normally see in the America East. So we take our lumps now and get ourselves ready for conference play. And it really worked out over the back stretch of the season where they went in a 6-match unbeaten run, winning their first 3 conference games. And after a loss to New Hampshire, they pretty much went unbeaten the rest of the way, including penalty kick victories or advancing on penalties in both the conference semifinals and the finals. Off the set piece, the reload from Marsteller, trying to clip it to this near channel. Now all the way back to Brooke Herber. Flag stays down as Olivia McKnight trying to bring that one down. Referee says no foul. Clean tackle by Paige Luke, but once again, Sammy Erickson, she is probably had about 6 or 7 different interceptions in key areas. Dave Barrett, the Fairfield coach, almost at the edge of your picture on the far side of the field. Not happy about that first tackle, but Erickson once again doing the job there, winning back the ball for her team. It'll be a free kick. In fact, I think one of the assistant referees, the linesman on the far side, telling Barrett to get back in his coaching area, as he was about halfway down to the corner flag. Mimas with Luke. It's a chance here. Good recovery again from Caroline Kelly, but now you're starting to see a couple of changes in the momentum for the visitors. Starting to ask a couple more questions out of the Fairfield back line. There's a few more changes coming on. One of those in the middle of your picture, Samira Reed, a sophomore from South Flora Park, New York. Samira Reed, a goal last season, actually scored in the conference championship game against New Hampshire. The goal was a 4-4 draw. Man, postseason play, one-off games, you usually see 1-0, 2-1, something along those lines. 4-4. Have those every time. It's a lovely ball played over the top, and the flag has stayed down for Elle Scott with the goalie to beat, and she puts it wide. Well, the Stags have had a couple of those here in this first half. First, Reagan Klarman. She was denied by the goalie, Caitlin Williams' strong right hand. This time, Scott able to time that run past Garofalo and just put it wide to the far post. I was about to say, for Binghamton over the last few minutes, they've really done a nice job at stemming the tide. That Fairfield of wave after wave of attack, and had a couple of half chances of their own, and then all of a sudden just one ball over the top, and it nearly was 2-0. But that's the threat that Fairfield can provide, is Samaya Reed. She was also joined on the field by Peyton Gilmore as Luke and Kinich came off. That was in the 30th minute. And Amimis able to recover. She's got 2 in the area to aim for. Reed looking to go end line and earns a corner. The Stags have a couple of subs ready to go, but they're not going to make this change on a defensive corner, as Victoria McKnight will trot over. McKnight, a couple of assists in conference play last season. That came against Albany. Ball to the top of the 6. It's headed away. It was intended for Garofalo. Scott, a good strong win, but she also got a bit of the player as well. Slow to get to her feet is McKnight. Surprised that the referee allowed that play to carry on. Usually you call things dead for any potential head injuries. As both Scott and Olivia McKnight collide, referee fine with that challenge. Garofalo in a race, losing her shin guard there was the defender, but it's out for a throw, and now Fairfield can make their changes. Sam Kersey and Alex Darcy, a couple of players in their sophomore seasons, both scoring last year. In fact, Kersey actually made a habit of scoring winners in non-conference play against UMass and Northeastern. Coming off the field, the goal scorer, Theriol, as well as Emily Cook. Not too bad for Emily Cook in her collegiate and Fairfield debut. Good win by Carragher. Now Kirby in a bit more an advanced position. Ball will find Darcy. Darcy trying to go end line. The sophomore from Raleigh, not able to get enough behind that to link up with Kersey. Darcy last year scored the winner in the non-conference game against Sacred Heart, in a crosstown rivalry game. Those two teams, the Pioneers and the Stags, will meet up on September the 13th up at Park Ave Field. Chance now for Peyton Gilmore. Just entered the match a couple of minutes ago. Strong tackle. The reload to the far post over everybody. Headed out towards Alex Marsteller, but didn't have that ball come down for her quickly enough, and now a chance here for Fairfield to break. Nada with Scott, and it's 3-on-3. The overlapping run for Kersey, just a bit too much behind it, though. It was the right idea, but Kersey just couldn't get on the end of it. I like that off-ball run, though, by Kersey. Maybe Scott on second look might have been better off going to Darcy at the far post. And now the distribution to the near side for Davia Rossi, the senior from Schenectady, New York, but not able to find Reed. Good tackle by Carragher. Her and Erickson on the right half of the defensive back four, they have been outstanding in this game, and now Scott's going to carry here. Has a couple options, goes for goal, and it's a brilliant save. Caitlin Williams saw that one cleanly and parried it over the bar. It will be a Fairfield corner, but Williams, she knows that Scott's got a bit about her with that left peg, but did enough strong hand to see that out. Credit the Binghamton goalie officially with 2 saves, but she's had a couple of strong moments in the back. Going to be Aubrey Silverman now to swing this in. Nada goes back to Erickson. Not a chance for her to reset and send it back into the box. It's not a bad ball, and a good collection by Williams. As Caroline Kelly was making that run, darting across the box towards the 6, but Williams, strong catch and a good distribution. Looking for Samaya Reed, but Carragher was quick to read that ball. It's cleared away. Again, JJ Duke here with you from Lessingfield on the campus of Fairfield University. Goal coming in the 8th minute from Maddie Ferriol. You're getting a look at Angela Filosa, product out of San Ramon, California. She comes in for Scott, so the front line for Fairfield now completely changed. Binghamton also making a sub as well. That would be Maria Poulos. This ball clipped in, but right, it's catching practice for her. Poulos, junior from New Hyde Park, New York, with 16 appearances last season. So this is a position we saw Allie Kirby a lot last year for Fairfield. Dropping in as the number 4, just sitting in. Can pick apart a defense. Klarman now also dropping in a little bit as well, so perhaps the Stags going with a bit of a double pivot. This ball down the channel for Filosa, has 2 in the area, including Darcy making a great run, but it's a lovely sliding tackle out for a corner. And in fact, Davia Rossi has won her team a goal kick. That's a great sliding tackle from Rossi, who is a forward by trade, but going all the way back. In fact, she's been deployed as a winger for Binghamton. The first half substitute. And again, Sammy Erickson. She's put together now at least 7 or 8 key interceptions. Klarman out wide. Ball over the top. It's not a bad one, but Filosa never in a position to challenge for it. And now Silverman, one of the handful of Fairfield starters yet to exit the field. Flag will go up here as Darcy was in an offside position. Shots right now at 10-3 in favor of Fairfield. Only 3 on target for the Stags. 2 of the 3 shots for the Bearcats have been on frame, who after today will finish off their opening weekend, a home game against Canisius, who are The surprise package of last season in the MAC advanced out of the quarterfinals on penalties over Ryder before falling to Quinnipiac in the semifinals. The Bobcats are the preseason favorite. As we go on through this broadcast, we'll take a look at the preseason poll here in the Metro Atlantic. There's a chance now for Darcy to use the overlapping run of Sam Kersey. She's got Brooke Herber with her. Kersey squares it across. Not a bad ball, actually, but Nada had already made that run, so she has to go a long way back to recover.
I know he was saying something about some shots from halftime, but I don't know what he was saying.
Kelly once again. Excuse me, that's Kirby, my apologies. Now to Darcy, but the flag came up. It's a couple of times in the last few minutes now for Alex Darcy. Not finding that run in time. Stepping a little bit ahead of the back line. Again, have gotten stronger as this first half has worn on. As we're under the final 5 minutes here of this first half, there is no stoppage time in the college game, or to the extent there's no FIFA level stoppage time that we've been seeing in the World Cup with 8 or 9 minutes per half. Once we get to zeros, that is the end. And this is where team talks at the halftime interval can always change a little bit by the way things can shake out. Fairfield probably, they're happy with the way that the game is going on for them, but they would have probably wanted a few more of those chances to be more well taken. Binghamton on the same side probably figured that, okay, reacted well enough after going behind, and eventually starting to find their flow a little bit. As this ball over the top, the flag does stay down, but the keeper out to take it. It's a turnover in a bad area, and Klarman has a pass on, just couldn't find the right direction. As Sam Kersey was in acres of space, and that is something that Neil Bhattacharjee will be telling his team at halftime. There's just been too many lazy passes from the defense to the midfield. 5 times now in this first half that Fairfield, and one of those being how the goal came about as well. But too often enough, they've put themselves in real bad situations. Just has to be crisper. Molly McClellan, her first real action since coming on a couple of minutes ago, able to recover possession. This ball guided back to Garofalo. Now Aubrey Silverman. We've been talking enough about the right side of the back line for Fairfield. Well, the left side want to get a little love as well. Silverman doing a nice job of reading that. One more change for Binghamton is Nicole Rago, the junior from Parsippany, New Jersey, comes on. Rago just played in 6 games last season. And really tough lineup to break for that Binghamton team. Rago. Ball cleared away, and once again Garofalo to reset out of the back. Nice turn. Chance now for Reed to carry forward. Samaya Reed. Scoop that ball in the path of Olivia McKnight. Able to turn, though, inside. McKnight now reloads. Few in the area. Cross, though, doesn't get past the first defender. The Stags now trying to scramble it away here. Darcy able to turn her way in and out of traffic, and Kelly will launch this ball over the top. Will hang up enough, though, to see Garofalo cleared away. Now McKnight. Good tackle. And Silverman stepping in nicely to win that ball. Clears it away. Under 90 seconds, under 80 seconds, in fact, left here in this first half.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
Reed once again trying to earn a corner, and she does. And she's been very effective here in this first half, Samaya Reed, since coming onto the field. About a quarter-hour cameo for her. She's provided a different challenge for the Fairfield back line, earns her team a set piece. There'll be no rush here for McKnight. This will be the last phase of this first half. Olivia McKnight, it's not a good ball though. Filosa, not conventional, kneaded away to one of her teammates. And perhaps now the Stags might have a chance to hit on the break. They've got about 15 seconds to do so. Filosa wanted it wide. Darcy underhit it to her with 10 seconds. Filosa, she'll try her luck from about 35 yards out, and that will do it for the first half. Well, Fairfield registering almost a dozen shots in that first 45 minutes. Their first goals, and this would be 1/2 into her sophomore season. Can also confirm as we are underway to start this second half, Maddie Theriault, the first player in the MAC to score, as a ball over the top, nearly unlocking Elle Scott, who in that first half, Scott did register 3 shots, 1 on target. There was 1 game in the books. St. Peter's got shut out by LIU 3-0, and then at halftime, Marist trailing 2-0 to Villanova. So Theriault, the lone goal scorer in the Metro Atlantic, as Maddie not able to keep that ball in play. He'll be out for a goal kick. Again, JJ Duke here with you on ESPN+. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday afternoon as Fairfield currently on the stretch of a 3-match homestand to start this season. They'll take on UMass Lowell on Sunday. That'll be a 1 p.m. kickoff. That's, of course, also the same day as the Women's World Cup final between Spain and England. And then, of course, the Stags play at 1 against the Riverhawks, and then following Friday evening, Fairfield will take on the 23rd-ranked Harvard Crimson. Them themselves had a player compete in the Women's World Cup, Josephine Hausbo for Denmark. Actually competed in all 4 of the matches for the Danish national team. And if Iceland had qualified for the World Cup, well, then we'd be looking at more like a half dozen players for Harvard, because they have a plethora of players from the Icelandic women's national team. Throw for Binghamton. It'll be a couple of weeks into the season before the Stags play their first road game, and it'll be the third of 3 teams at the America East that they'll face in non-conference play. That'll be Bryant at the end of August. Pass intercepted. Now Theriault looking to combine with Emily Cook at a couple of moments in that first half. Plenty of service to her as well. Theriault with the step over has got a couple of players to aim for. That shot always going wide. And he'll be out for a goal kick. Caitlin Williams in net for the Bearcats with 3 saves, one of top drawer variety. A strong hand to tip over, a left-footed shot from Elle Scott. Williams, who started 12 of 19 games last year, kind of the early portion of the season, platooned with Nicole Scott, almost splitting halves. The turnover leads to another shot from distance, but Kirby, that's Allie Kirby, not able to keep that one on target. The mark, if my memory is correct, of the 21 Fairfield women's soccer season. Just a team that was completely unafraid to shoot at any time from almost seemingly anywhere, but their shot on goal ratio was not very good. Stags right now at 4 out of 12 shots on target. It's a few too many, though, for Dave Barrett's liking that have gone off the mark. It's a good switch for the Bearcats as Grace Vittoria now will launch this ball over the top. And a Knitsch trying to latch onto it. The offside flag ended up coming up there. Sammy Erickson able just to step in front of that run and get that offside. And now Fairfield will try and hit one over the top on their own, but too strong for Theriault. And Williams will collect. Grace Vittoria in her first game after missing all of last season due to an injury. She was a center back in the 21 season, but has been mostly used as an outside back. Today, there's Olivia McKnight trying to carry in. Squares it across for Alex Marsteller. Now Brooke Herber. Victoria McKnight. The best passing sequence in the attacking third for Binghamton. And it comes to nothing, and it's knocked out for a goal kick. Now, speaking about the other games in the MAC, as it's nearly a full slate. The only team not playing today would be Niagara, the other finalist from a season ago. They're against the University of St. Thomas up in Minnesota tomorrow. A lot of games coming up later on tonight, though. Siena in action to Central Connecticut State. The Mount is at NJIT. Canisius at home to Colgate. Ryder in action. Iona's away. Ball over the top. Flag goes come up again. Well, that was kind of the bugaboo for Fairfield in that first half, stepping offside a few too many times. Now it's Binghamton here in this second half, especially on the left, or excuse me, well, the far right for Fairfield, the Binghamton left side. It's the side that Sammy Erickson, who are kind of harsh to give it to anybody but Theriault as the player of the match thus far, but Erickson has been outstanding at that outside back position. And it's not a stat that is listed, but in terms of recoveries and ball winning ability, Erickson has not put a step wrong all afternoon. Garofalo. It's a lovely weighted ball out wide, and the flag does stay down, but this time it's just knocked out of play. It's a very heavy touch from the winger. Marsteller just wasn't able to keep that in. Or excuse me, that was Hannah Knitsch, my apologies. A little bit of a push in the back, and the referee did see it. Daniel Aloy, our official. Seeing that Vittoria just nudged Scott off enough. Sometimes could be seen as a clever move by the Binghamton defender, but it will be a Fairfield free kick. And the lone goal scored in the 8th minute from Maddie Theriault. Chance now for Theriault to drive it across, and Fairfield double their lead. From goal scorer to provider, Theriault sets up Kirby, and it's Fairfield 2, Binghamton 0. Yeah, just a lovely ball there. Simple finish for Allie Kirby, but she will take that one. Kirby, who scored a goal last season, and just the second now of her career. Allie Kirby, in the first part of her career, mostly used as a center back or a central defensive midfield. We've seen her now start to move up the lines a little bit, and Allie, hey, she'll take that one. And always, it's great on the first day of the season to open up your account. That's exactly what she did. Theriault now a goal and an assist for her on the day. Maddie had a couple of goal and assist output a season ago. And for all the good work that Binghamton did to start this second half, now they're chasing two on the road as well. And that was something that has been a little bit of a challenge for this Binghamton team over the last couple of seasons. Play on the road. Theriault had a goal and an assist performance each against Manhattan and St. Peter's last season in league play. That ball sent straight out for a goal kick. At the same time, while Binghamton have a lot of chasing to do for Fairfield, it's a simple finish that you often see done in training. But when you execute it, it just feels all that nicer. Just go end line, cut it back across, and look for someone to put it into the back of the net. And there could be more coming here for L. Scott. Just couldn't get that one to curl, and it's out for a goal kick. If you, in fact, even date it back to the back half of last season, Maddie Theriault has now registered a goal or an assist in 4 of the last 6 matches that she's played. Also credit Megan Carragher, the secondary assist, as you do provide on occasions a secondary assist. So Carragher getting off the mark this season. She had a goal and 2 assists 1 season ago. Now a chance for Binghamton to build out of the back. Vittoria trying to clip that ball into a space. It's not a bad ball, actually. Shot, though, going wide. And that's really all that the visitors have been held to here in this contest. Half chances at most. Shots taken from distance. Knitsch, the one that time to let it fly. For Binghamton, that is just their 4th shot of the game to Fairfield's 15. Not a great goal kick there from Katie Wright, but she gets away with it. Finds the feet of Emily Cook. A Georgia transfer. Now to Theriault. Kirby. She'll go back to Erickson. Erickson, a long marauding run forward. It's not a bad ball either. Looking for Scott. Finds the feet of Klarman. Tries to turn. Goes back wide, but stretching. Theriault just not able to get it. Out for a goal kick. It's a really good bursting run from Sammy Erickson. Just a bit unlucky there that it didn't come to goal for the Stags. Played a good ball in the space for L. Scott. Fairfield trying to pile on the pressure. That score line that coaches don't always like, having that 2-0 lead. Seems always like it's in the balance. So the Stags are really trying to push for a 3rd goal, and for them, hoping to put it away is now Theriault with a goal and an assist. I think she was looking for the run of Scott. It's cleared away. And now Theriault a chance to win it back and drive end line. She's got Klarman in the area. Theriault keeps it on, looking for Cook, and it's cleared away at the last moment. Fairfield, similar to the first half, just carving a path on this right side of the field. Maddie Theriault a few times in there. Lovely win back from Kaylin Panasek. Inadvertently nutmegs the defender, but a good recovery by Vittoria. Panasek was trying to get it all the way out wide for Scott. Kirby, a recent goal scorer, does the job. And now Scott trying to drive the defender. And a tangle. The referee points the other way, as that's the correct decision. Scott trying to wrestle over the back of the defender, Grace Vittoria. Good little win there from Olivia McKnight. Now a chance here for Binghamton to break. Hannah Mimas Trying to size up Caroline Kelly. She's got players in the area. That ball clipped over the top. It ends up going out for a goal kick. You know, we just haven't called the name of Olivia McKnight all that much here during this contest. Last year's America East Midfielder of the Year with the 8 goals and 4 assists, but Fairfield have done a really nice job at keeping her quiet. It's been more of the longs of Mimis starting the attack. 2 shots as well for Victoria McKnight that actually leads Binghamton in this contest. The goals from Maddie Theriault in the 8th minute, Allie Kirby in the 53rd minute, the difference thus far. A good strong win from Panasek with Scott offside position. She gives the referee a stern look there, thinking that she stayed on, but that was one of those straight from the goal kick. Trying to come back from an offside position. It was close. Great step again from Panasek, and she's got numbers. Gives it to Emily Cook. It's a bit of a wide pass there, so Cook has to wait for everybody to get forward. The return ball behind Panasek. Leaves it for Klarman. Good covering, and Mimis wins it away. Helped on with Olivia McKnight to dispossess the ball carrier. Now McKnight a chance to carry on forward here. Got a half hour left in this one. Paige Luke finding Mimis. She's got 2 in the area to aim for. Mimis, her drive gets knocked away. Aubrey Silverman. Scott coming back and doing the job there, and she puts it into a space. There's a bit of a foot race here. Williams in a good position. And the thing that we've learned a bit about Emily Cook thus far, she's got a bit of speed about her. And similar to Elle Scott, if you put a ball into space, she might win it. The Stags able to play it out of the back. Binghamton preparing a trio of substitutions. Good work by Silverman. It was a difficult ball to bring down. Skips past a defender. Finds Scott. She's got a bit of space with her. Scott, it's a wide touch again, clipping it to the back post. There was no one there, and it's out for a goal kick. And probably for LU to love for her to cut inside. She would have opened up a good shooting angle for herself, but was never going to test any goalie from that position. Binghamton will make a trio of subs. Also, Fairfield will bring on some changes as well. And still with both of these teams playing on opening day, you had about 3 weeks or so of preseason to build up the stamina and the fitness. And not too many players are going to go the full 90, especially when you play again in 3 days' time. Vittoria a chance to carry in a long way here for the right back. Samaya Reed, one of those changes just onto the field, links up with another substitute in Molly McClellan. Olivia McKnight to bring it down. Reed and line. Cut down there by Caroline Kelly, and the Stags will break their lines. Those changes for Binghamton, Reed, McClellan, Peyton Gilmore all on for Paige Luke, Hannah Knish, and Hannah Mimis. Fairfield changes Donna Nada on for Kaylin Panasek, and Jess Linsky making her season debut comes on for Allie Kirby. Chance now for Victoria McKnight. Trying to slip it through to Olivia. Lovely move. McKnight lays it off. Chance now, but the effort's over the bar. Looked like Allison Falvo. I think that's going to go out actually for a corner kick. This is probably the best sequence of the afternoon for Binghamton. As yeah, Falvo just not able to keep that one on target. Unfortunately, I mean, you have to credit, of course, the late deflection, but if you're a Binghamton attacker in that position, you have to get that on target and ask a question of Katie Wright from that sort of distance. So almost harder to miss. But it is a set piece to come as Olivia McKnight combined really nicely there with Victoria, her twin sister. And nothing comes of that corner. Now Fairfield, if they can find that outlet ball, they might be in here on the break. Scott able to turn nicely. She's got Linsky ahead of her, who just came onto the field. That ball didn't have enough on it. I did ask Coach Neil Batterchargi, by the way, if he did coach any other sets of twins beforehand with the McKnights. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's a chance now for Molly McClellan. Back to Victoria. Tees it off. That's a nice move there, and Olivia McKnight just puts it over the bar. But now you can start to sense that Binghamton finding their stride a little bit. Similar back in the first half where Fairfield made some changes, and Binghamton are finding those pockets. And the McKnight twins are starting to find something into this. Shot just over the bar, but yeah, he did say that this is the first set of twins that he has coached, but he does have a couple of players on his team, Megan Baker and Lauren Clark, who do have twin sisters on other teams. He is also relieved that the McKnight sisters have yet to pull any wool over the coach's eyes, perhaps changing the jerseys on a given day. Not a game, of course, but in practice, just to see if he's paying attention. But Neil did jokingly say once or twice he talked to one twin about the other, and they would wait a few seconds before correcting him and saying that you're talking about my sister. Victoria reloads back. Brooke Herber trying to ping it towards Olivia McKnight. Eventually finds it the ball finds its way to her. Molly McClellan draws a couple of defenders, has to take a really wide touch though to create some sort of separation. It's not a bad ball at the end of it. It is cleared away. Scott trying to play it to space to lead on Cook. One of the Fairfield captains, Reagan Klarman, wins it. Now Linsky over the top. That's a good knockout wide. Theriault. Had to see Scott check her run for a second. It's out for a Fairfield throw, as Fairfield are preparing a sub. Yeah, it's been a good match for Emily Cook. Just off the left of your picture there. Logged close to an hour on the field, has had one shot registered and a couple of half chances. And a really nice job, though, sliding into what is an experienced front line with Theriault and Scott, as Theriault pings this in towards Scott. Well, she got something on it, but it's a good save by Williams. And again, that's one of the deceptive things about Elle Scott, who is not the tallest player by any stretch, but she's got a tremendous leap on her. At 5'2", but she can jump through a roof. Meanwhile, chance now for Samaya Reed, one-on-one, saved by Wright. Chances at both ends, but Katie Wright, that's the first real test for her this afternoon, coming up with a good 1v1 save. All you can do in that situation as a goalie is stand your ground and try to make yourself as big as possible. And yeah, it's a really good save there from Katie Wright. Credit the sophomore goalie now with 3 saves on the afternoon. Strong win by Scott. It is knifed back into the area, though. That ball will settle down. A long-distance effort. That had something behind it, Sophia Garofalo got her laces through it. Not a bad hit for a center half, but Wright holds on for now her 4th save. Noting that it looked like Allie Kirby has come back onto the field for Fairfield. Nelson Falvo is off. Davia Rossi is on. Elle Scott driving through, cuts past a couple. Still Scott going, but puts it just wide. A slaloming run past 2 defenders, and Scott, who has had a number of chances in this game, her 6th shot, still yet to break her mark for the season. And look at the way she just rides that challenge. Brooke Herber did enough to just put her off at the end of it, but still, Scott weaving through that Binghamton back line down this left channel. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a highlight reel now for Elle Scott with her near misses. Reagan Klarman, who I was mentioning with the Kirby sub from a couple of minutes ago, came off her first exit of the afternoon. Which means now really just the center back tandem of Carragher and Kelly have stayed on, as well as Erickson and Silverman. So actually the full back line has stayed on for Fairfield, but everybody else has made changes. And as I say that, you see walking across the screen, Dave Barrett lining up a line change. Fairfield trying to go in line. She's got Scott in the middle, gets it across. Good save, parried into a dangerous area. Brilliant double save, and it's cleared off the line. Caitlin Williams denying, well, first the cross into the area, and then Donna Nada looking for her first career goal. That is a top drawer save. This is not a bad ball into the area. Still a lot of work to be done. And yeah, that is a reflex save from Caitlin Williams. But I mean, we've talked about highlight reel moments. Well, Williams has had a couple of highlight reel saves in this game, denying Scott with a flying save in the first half. And then that. And again, it's all about reflexes and positioning there, because the way she parried that initial cross from Theriol, it's in a dangerous area. Got past Scott, but Nada nearly putting that one home. So Darcy and Sam Kersey on for Fairfield. Also Maddie Kiley getting her first action of the season, a senior. There's a chance now for Victoria McKnight, acrobatically trying to swing her leg at that. It gets knocked away. Nada and Panasek, who just came on. As Panasek through the lines, the flag has stayed down here for Alex Darcy. Bit wide for her, hits it to the back post, but Kersey was coming inward, not able to recover. Boy, this game has really livened up here over the last couple of minutes. We've had a bit of goalie wars. We've had a couple of flying tackles in there, some acrobatic shot attempts. And yet it only still remains as 2-0. But for the neutral observer, this has been a pretty fun match to watch. Foul against Silverman going through the back. The number 10, Davia Rossi. And still the same thing for Binghamton with that precarious 2-0 scoreline. It feels like if the Bearcats can just get that one chance, similar to what Reed had about 7 or 8 minutes ago, get in behind as the legs start to go. And if you score, it could be a very nervy 10 minutes for that Fairfield back line, but one that Binghamton can just press everything forward, as now McKnight has gotten in here, and it's going to be a corner. Well, set pieces can always provide a spark for a team. Let's see what Binghamton can get from this. This ball hit towards the towering Garofalo. And is cleared away. Kylie able to bounce around a defender, the senior from Killingworth, Connecticut. Plays it down the line. She's got Darcy there. Just one in the box right now, that's Kersey, but the ball is never going to get towards Kersey. Credit Caitlin Williams now for 5 saves this afternoon. Marist still trailing Villanova 2-0. Another MAC action. About 20 minutes to go down in Philly. That ball hit to the back post. It's a teasing ball. It's a great defensive header. That was Sammy Erickson once again. Again, she's had a very solid game. And it's one of those where it'd be super harsh to take a player of the match away from Maddie Theriot with a goal and assist, but Erickson certainly has to get an honorable nod for the work that she's put in here today. The other MAC team in action, Siena, trailing Central Connecticut State 1-0. 15 minutes into that game. Central Connecticut, one of the teams that Fairfield will face in non-conference play. That will be on the 7th of September. First time in a fair few years that those two teams have linked up. Central, one of the better teams traditionally in the Northeast Conferences. This ball's cut back looking for Victoria McKnight, and it's cleared away. Well, Klarman had Donna Nada in all sorts of space, but just couldn't find that ball. Look at Megan Carragher, able to win it back. Tackled off slightly for a moment by Peyton Gilmore. Great strength to keep it on. Alex Marsteller to win it back. Goes to Brooke Herbert. Well, it's a giveaway and a chance here. And the referee, this should be brought back for a foul on Garofalo for denying player going forward. Number of fans and players up in arms there as Garofalo and Alex Darcy. About a 5-6 minute match, or a 6-second match of tussling going down that channel. But the referee says nothing. Meanwhile, Kylie, lovely extra ball to find Kersey from Nada. 2 in the box to aim for. Shot of a handball. We're going to have a corner kick to come. So right here, that's where a foul should have been called from the official. Maybe you could say advantage played on, but at this point, there's nothing in that to say that there's an advantage. The referee should bring that back, and there should be a yellow card. It's the way that I've seen games officiated for years, but Daniel Alloy electing to just play on. The corner for Fairfield. Right around 5 on the match. Now a bad ball looking for Kelly. Swung at the first one, miss. Reloads, tipped behind by Williams. I'm not sure if Caroline Kelly meant that as a shot there, but she certainly had Williams scrambling to the near post. Fairfield now up to 19 shots in this game. 7 of which on target. It'll be the Egyptian national teamer and Nada to put this back in. And been capped by our country 14 times. Another ball looking for Kelly. This one headed out for a goal kick. As Binghamton will make a change. Doesn't even matter what the scoreline says. Caitlin Williams has been very, very good in this game. Officially now up to 6 saves in this match. As many as 9 one season ago for the junior out of Clinton, New York. There's a whistle because the referee never actually signaled play to begin with Sammy Erickson coming off the field. Her first time leaving the match. So Allie Kirby now drops back to right back. It's a foul against the Stags. Getting upended was Vittoria. Now Vittoria, chance to carry and deliver, instead goes short. And rocketed that one off of McClellan, out for a throw. Kylie, one of the 13 different goal scorers for Fairfield last season. Maddie was, scored in one of the late games in conference play against Iona. Missed about 5 weeks of action last year due to an injury, but getting a run out here. Cross blocked, it'll be a throw, and something that we actually haven't seen all that often today. Allie Kirby does have a bit of a long throw, so Fairfield can load up the box here. The Stags did get a couple of goals off this long throw last season. She'll admit not the best, but it is out for a corner. Battle of 2 regular season champions from last season, currently going in favor of Fairfield, who did share the honors with Quinnipiac last season. This ball clipped in, it's knocked around in the 6. Carragher will go all the way back to Panasek, who tries the early reload, but it goes out. Fairfield 9-1 in league play last year. Binghamton outright regular season champion. 6 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. First outright title for the program in nearly 20 seasons. Last was coming in 2004, the outright title. They also had a shared title in 2017. Binghamton right back in action, their season home opener on Sunday against Canisius before they take on Seton Hall on the road, and then Syracuse. Another common opponent between these two teams is Fairfield will host Syracuse on September the 10th. Chance now for Victoria McKnight. Ball knocked down by Carragher. I think it was hit just enough behind Reed for her not to really make a challenge for it. Samaya Reed providing the best chance for Binghamton offensively. Came about midway through this second half. And in the 67th minute, so you're right about halfway through. Came right after a Fairfield chance, and all of a sudden, within 3 or 4 seconds, Reed was in on goal. And right, and it tipped the shot around the post. Silverman. That's a great area for Kersey. Doesn't have much in the box right now. Here comes Darcy. Kersey trying to drag it across. It gets knocked away. Hannah Mimas will just clear it, but only as far as Caitlin Panasek. Near post ball, comfortable that time for Williams. About 7.5 minutes to go. Fairfield also doing something that has been a common occurrence for the Stags during their time under Dave Barrett. Defending their home turf in non-conference play. In fact, Fairfield have still yet to lose a non-conference game under Dave Barrett. 12 wins and 2 draws. That does not include tournament play. in league action because, yeah, it doesn't count as a conference match per se. But in the traditional non-conference, Fairfield yet to lose. Another chance now for Alex Darcy, who's been very active here coming off the bench in both first and second half. Square ball across. Keeper misses on the first but recovers on the second. Sam Kersey kind of just a little ahead of it. Ended up knocking it right into the arms of Williams. It's a good ball by Darcy. And you know what? Williams actually got a piece of it to knock it just off the stride of Kersey, who then played it back into the goalie. There's no initial touch. I think Kersey has a tap-in. Oh, and Kylie, that's not a bad ball actually, but Darcy has made a lot of runs down this near channel. Trying to run a little bit out of gas. Nada. And the big diagonal has been on a lot here for Fairfield in this second half. And finds Kersey once again. At this point, looking more for just keep ball as opposed to continually pinging in crosses, which is not a bad thing at this stage. Protecting that 2-goal lead. Fairfield will continue to ask more fitness questions from Binghamton, who will chase. Comes here to Kelly. There's only she and Megan Carragher, along with Katie Wright and goal, are the only players to have gone the distance in this match. Fairfield going to bring on 3 more changes. And you'll see the clock stopped in college soccer. If a team that is leading makes a change under 5 minutes in the second half, the clock will stop to avoid time wasting. But the Stags are going to bring Scott, Theriault, and Cook. Wow. As a aggressive sub, up 2 goals. Fairfield brings their front line back on. Some would say with the amount of chances that the Stags have had in this game that 2 goals on the day may not as be reflective of their efforts thus far. Theriault trying to change that though. Her ball into the box knocked away. It has been a pretty solid performance for an opening contest. Yeah, with Fairfield attempting 20 shots in the game, 9 on target. Yeah, credit Williams again, a couple of brilliant saves at the Binghamton goalie. But it easily could have been 3 or 4-0 to the hosts. Chance out wide here for Binghamton. Stretching was Kelly, and collecting was Wright. Good work there again in the 86th minute. Caroline Kelly, who's yet to leave the field, able to intercept that cross. One thing that Dave Barrett did tell me in the build-up to this is that he was very happy with his team and their fitness levels coming into preseason. Usually, sometimes you might have to do a little bit of work, even if players are still training throughout the offseason and in the summer. Sometimes there could be that just game fitness that's lacking a little bit, but make no mistake about it, Fairfield's still looking pretty fresh right now. Yes, they have made a number of changes throughout the course of this contest, going 6 players deep off the bench. Big switch. Good win by Kirby just in front of Peyton Gilmore. It's a player that we were really looking forward to seeing Gilmore in this game after 7 goals last season, but just really hasn't had much service going towards her. If anything, bit more work for her defensively. Wright will happily take a few more seconds off the clock here. She's made the saves that she's had to in this game, Katie Wright. 3 long-distance efforts in the first half, and then that what is kind of a game changer, game stabilizer. Still at that 1-0 score line. One-on-one save at the near post against Samaya Reed. That goal goes in, could be a different score line. Should actually say it was 2-0 at that stage as Theriault dances past a couple of defenders, but Williams able to recover. It was 2-0 actually, but right after that second goal was scored. Yeah, say if that goal does go in though from Reed, then it's very much game on for the final 20 minutes. Entering the final 80 seconds of this game. Binghamton, anything now would just be a consolation for them. Fairfield weather away, probably what is their last attack of the game, and maybe looking just for one more. And Scott will just jog over to the corner.
1 minute remaining in the second half.
There will be a goal kick. Fairfield, again with this 20-shot effort in this season opener. They knew that they were going to be tested right from the jump. But offensively, they were strong. Defensively, making all the adjustments as the game went on as they needed to. And on a day when it was regular season champion versus regular season champion, it's the MAC representative coming out stronger on this afternoon. Fairfield, again, right back in action at home on Sunday against UMass Lowell, team that they knocked off on the road a couple of seasons ago. And Binghamton will take the drive back.
10, 9, 8,
They'll look to reset
7,
things on Sunday
6,
when they welcome in
5,
Canisius as that ball gets
4,
blasted out of
3,
play, and it will do it as Fairfield
1.
open up 2023 with a 2-0 victory over Binghamton.
Fairfield Stags 2,